Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Caged Minds. A full hour this week. Michael Carlisle is off to go cover UFC 245. Leroy Lucero is just off. And Alden taking a sick day. So a special episode. Going to talk about a lot of face punching stuff. And we got Josh controlling everything today instead of Alden. So a really special episode going on here. Start off with talking about last weekend. The UFC was in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. We had a heavyweight main event where you saw Alistair Overeem and Jair Rozenstruik in the main event, two big heavyweights. Believe we have the poster for that. Overeem, recognizable from having been a world champion, K1, Strikeforce, Pride, competed in the UFC for quite a few years, and had previously trained out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Rozenstruik coming in on short notice, unknown, unheralded to many people, only 9 fights in his career as a mixed martial artist, but 80 as a kickboxer. We can take a look at the full card real quick to get that slide up. Right there, it was a big card. You go to cageminds.com. We have the full results up there for all the fights, all 3 layers of action, how the UFC does it. Then we can start talking about the results. Got a couple devastating finishes to talk about, and I mean they came fast, furious, and early. The night kicked off with Makhmud Muradov in a vicious right hand in the 3rd round, knocking out Trevor Smith. The Floyd Mayweather managed fighter, putting himself on the map. That was the kind of performance he had looked for coming into the octagon with a lot of hype, having it come to fruition. Smith, a veteran, over 20 fights in the octagon, not an easy guy to stop, but Makhmud was able to get it done. Then we keep going on. It was also on the ESPN Plus early prelims. Vera Jandiroba able to take down to the ground short notice replacement opponent Molly Martin. Martin, known for her ground game, but was no match for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, who gets the submission choke at a minute 16 of the 2nd round. Jandiroba keeps rolling. The submissions kept on coming as we moved up to the ESPN prelims. And here is rarity. You may say that this looks not that impressive, but only the 2nd twister ever recorded in UFC history. This is the choke being partially put in. Bryce Mitchell, an incredible ground game, improves to 12-0 in his MMA career, a big win over Matt Styles. The submission wins kept coming. Billy Quarantello is able to get a triangle choke of Jacob Kilburn. This was all Quarantello, all on the ground, totally manipulating and controlling the whole fight. Another submission finish, and this one comes from our local fighter, the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. Months after recovering now from a broken ankle suffered against Nico Price, the Dirty Bird soars back into the octagon successfully. A straight left hand stings Thiago Alves. Means followed up with a takedown in the getup, is able to catch Alves in a deep, deep guillotine choke, forcing the former world title challenger to tap out just 2.5 minutes into the fight. A huge win for Tim Means, who called for his next fight to be here, UFC Rio Rancho, on February 15th. Maybe we'll hear some thoughts from Tim about that a little later, but it was a great return to the octagon. Continuing up the card, looking at finishes, it was a ground and pound finish, much needed in the third round for Aspen Ladd. Ladd, in her last outing, was the victim of a 16-second knockout loss to Jermaine de Randamie, and started out this fight against Yana Kunitskaya very well. A great first round, ended on the back with powerful ground and pound. But the second round, she seemed to lose her focus, was getting teed off on in the clinch, and was not able to score her takedowns. A very dramatic speech from her coach lit the fire, and Aspen Ladd, 33 seconds into the third round, knocks down Kunitskaya and is able to pound to the finish, a big victory. We're going up to feature fight. Well, we're going up to the main event. I think I missed the slide, but here it was, the walk-off knockout at the end of the 5th round. Jairzinho Rozenstruik pulls off the upset on short notice, knocking out the multiple-time former world champion Alistair Overeem, the third latest finish in UFC history. 4 minutes, 56 seconds of the 5th round. It was a right hand so devastating that it literally ripped apart the mouth of Alistair Overeem. Go to the Instagram, CageMinds_com, if you think you can stomach it, to see the full uncensored image of the destruction. Now, not just a dramatic walk-off knockout victory, but a come-from-behind victory. Heading into that 5th round, down 4 rounds to nothing. Overeem, using his veteran wit, using all of his fortitude, able to score the takedown, had put Rozenstruik in some very compromising positions, showing that all the kickboxing experience that Rozenstruik came in did not actually apply to his grappling game. But he was able to weather the storm, showed the toughness, and showed at least the calm to not put himself in a position to give Overeem an easy submission. Overeem controlled 4 rounds and then got knocked out. So it's one of those fights where people would say Rozenstruik actually lost, but he walks away winner. Some people have an issue with the way the fight ended. Rozenstruik, with one big right hand, hits Overeem. Overeem dramatically lights out, falls. But as he's falling, he hits the cage, comes back to consciousness, does pop back up, but kind of runs the other way from his opponent. Referee Dan Mergliotta jumps in for the stoppage. I felt it was justified. I thought there was no way that at that moment Overeem was there, consciously there, ready to fight a good stoppage. Controversy also came through in the co-main event. I forgot the slide on that one, my bad. But we saw Ben Rothwell score a dramatic knockout win over Stefan Struve. The controversy was of the 2 harsh low blows that Rothwell landed to Struve, and the second one of which referee Dan Mergliotta seemed to kind of convince Struve to keep fighting, where he maybe talked him into a little bit. Kind of said, you're up 2 rounds. If we stop the fight now, it's going to be a no contest. It's a horrible sight for a lot of fans to see. It was a realistic image, though. You don't know when they're not mic'd up if you're at a local show, the conversation that's actually going on between the athlete who's fouled and the referee taking care of it. But what we do know is that the reason Struve kept fighting, he said, was because he knew that a no contest doesn't get paid as much as they win, so it was worth risking the pain he was feeling in his lower region to continue the fight to try to get the win. Something about that has to change, because if you're compromised physically, it shouldn't be a financial thought process too. Can I quit this fight, or can I stop this fight? If you're injured, if you're compromised, I know we're out there testing if they're warriors, but there's a certain level of barbaricness where I believe that if you're compromised from a foul, the fight should just be stopped. It was a crazy situation. I had more thoughts, and we'll probably hear more of my thoughts this weekend on the Sports Animal on the mic with Mike Adams. But the UFC was in DC. Overall, it was a great card. A spectacular finish in the main event. And again, CageMinds.com has the full results. Also up at CageMinds.com, we do have full results for Brawl on the Bosque 2. It was the police versus the firefighters, all to support the 1082 charity. Photos are up on the Facebook page. Website has a recap for you guys. Check that out. Coming up this weekend, Friday night, there is Combate Americas. Saturday, there's UFC action, and that is the main course. UFC 245 in Las Vegas, Nevada. One of the most stacked cards of the year, and I am truly not just selling that. This is going to be amazing. 3 title fights where you think about the multiple division champion Amanda Nunes is just the feature fight defending her women's bantamweight title against former featherweight champion, got to remember this, the one black cloud over Germaine de Randamie. De Randamie won the women's featherweight title and voluntarily relinquished the belt instead of defending it. Overall, though, de Randamie, a 5-fight win streak. Earlier mentioned, a 16-second knockout of Aspen Ladd as her last fight, obviously has earned this opportunity. Amanda Nunes is on a 9-fight win streak. That includes 4 successful title defenses of this 135-pound crown, which she's coming off defending in July, that spectacular head kick knockout win against Holly Holm. That one's great. That's just, though, an appetizer to when you get to the co-main event. Max Bless Holloway, who is looking for his 4th consecutive title defense of the featherweight title, takes on the 17-fight win streak of Alexander the Great Volkanovski, the Australian, the former rugby player who now is fighting at 145 pounds and used to weigh nearly 300 pounds. Volkanovski 7-0 in the octagon. Credible featherweight matchup there for the co-main event, and bitter rivalry grudge match in the main event. Colby Covington, the former interim welterweight champion, looking to get that full title, taking on Kamaru Usman. Usman, who dethroned Tyron Woodley, will be looking for his first title defense. You have wrestler versus high-level wrestler. Usman is the knockout artist, where Covington has this incredible cardio, pace, and just volume of shots that he tacks you with. The card is also going to see Jose Aldo, the former 145-pound king, down at 135 pounds against top contender Marlon Moraes. Uriah Faber, the former WEC great, is also on the card. At 125 pounds, you have Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara France. That one is amazing. And former LFA champion Ian Heinrich. Not to mention, always a fight of the night candidate, Mike Perry, is on the card. UFC 245 in Las Vegas. This card is stacked beyond belief. There's a good reason why Michael Carlisle is out there. Got to catch my breath. There was a lot we went over right there, and a lot more to get to when we get back. More Cage Minds TV in just a moment.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. There goes. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Here's Natalia Chavez. Good spin. Takes a.
Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop to the.
Played with gambling a little bit.
Bertha. Hill, little step, high window, and a
got the second.
To the middle. Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis goes in. It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo.
Reverse layup.
Gallegos spins, window, finishes.
There's a run coming from
Lazy pass. Here comes Crawford. It might be showtime.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? 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 Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Local Union 412. Find a career with benefits and not just a job at UA Local 412 Training Center. We are looking for plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC tech apprentices and journeymen. Call 505-256-9257. Local Union 412.
St. Clair Winery and Bistro has been renamed in honor of our founders, the Lascombe family. D.H. Lascombe Winery and Bistro continues to deliver the same exceptional wine and food experience you've come to expect since 2005. Visit us today. D.H. Lascombe Winery and Bistro.
Stop living with summer heat. Get a super efficient AC systems from Sunshine Plumbing and Heating and eliminate all worry for a full 10 years. Now that's a bold guarantee. Call now and get your free system design consultation and learn more about how our bold guarantee can help eliminate your worry for a full 10 years. Comfort you can afford. Call Sunshine Plumbing today, 296-3188.
Welcome back, everybody. I threw out earlier that Combates America was happening this Friday. It'll be their first event on Access TV, so if you have DirecTV, channel 340, check them out. Card will feature Albuquerque Jackson Wink fighter Dan Argueta, who's 3-0, credible wrestler, made his way down from Oakland Park, from Chicago, who also is a protege of Cub Swanson. So check him out Friday night for Combate America on Access TV. Coming up here on the local scene, the biggest thing marked on the calendar has got to be February 15th with the UFC coming. Diego Sanchez, Nico Montano. Not to mention, I'm hearing that John Dodson, we know Ray Borg, all these great New Mexico-based fighters are going to be part of that card at the Santa Ana Star Center. Now, coming off of a first-round victory this weekend in Washington, D.C., Fit NHB's Tim Means made his claim, or made his shot to why he should be part of the card here locally. Obviously a big name that's been fighting for a lot of years. Well, I went over to Fit NHB to catch up with the Dirty Bird so he can make his argument on camera. At Fit NHB, and I've caught up with the Dirty Bird, Tim Means, back from the nation's capital. How you doing, sir?
Doing good.
Now, we saw you back in the octagon. First off, you shake off the injury, you get to test the leg in live action. How'd that feel?
It felt good to get a win, and it felt good not to take a whole bunch of leg kicks. So, all in all, the nation's capital is real cool. Check out some cool museums, get a win and get home. So, settle in for the holidays.
What did you think about your performance, namely landing that straight left and getting the submission finish?
I think I got those tools to do that in every fight. It's just putting things together. I was happy that I used my wrestling and tied up, do some sneaky elbows, some body shots. Starting to mix it up much better in my last few fights out. So the things we're doing out here in practice and what you see behind us with the wrestling is starting to show in my fights, and I'm very pleased with it.
Now, I thought this was going to be a great opportunity for you to utilize that grappling. We've been talking about it, seeing you utilize it more and more these last couple fights, but I thought with how forward heavy and plotting and, kind of looping shots that Thiago throws, it would actually really open up your wrestling game. Was that something that you thought leading in?
I didn't think much like that at all. I wanted to be well-rounded and mix it up, change his timing. Once you get in there and you start getting hit, game plans go out the window, but I knew that I wanted to slow those kicks down and throw him off. After I rewatched the fight, I even threw off the commentary. They weren't expecting me to shoot takedowns at all. So, like I said, I'm pleased with the wrestling that we've been getting done here. Finding those shots in fights. I'm shooting 8 times a round out here in practice. So, I can get comfortable here in practice, and I can start getting comfortable in a fight, and I really feel that's really starting to show.
Is there a different level of satisfaction getting that submission victory, showing that multitude of skills that you knew that you possessed that not everybody saw?
Yes, I'm happy I'm not being a dumbass and just standing in the pocket and going punch for punch. Thiago landed some stuff early, a couple loopers or a couple good hooks, and one body kick that was real loud, but that was more of a slap, and the second body kick actually did sting pretty good. So I'm happy that I'm not being stubborn and having to learn things the hard way there. I'm trying to mix it up and be a mixed martial artist and just not a boxer.
What did it take to want to make that transition?
Lots and lots of hours in here. If I haven't been doing it in practice, it wasn't showing in the fight, so we're forcing myself to do it in here. Where, like I said, 8 shots around, if not more in there, So have to overdo it here in practice so I can get those couple opportunities or a couple times in the fight. So hats off to Coach Tom and JJ. We've been drilling, and things are falling into place.
Getting back in there after the way you suffered that injury against Nico, was there any mental process to get over during the fight, or was that all taken care of here in the gym?
You know, I worked with the mental solutions with Vera Jo Bustos over at UNM. How to not think negative going into the fight, or have those little quick thoughts that come and go, the negativity, and just learn how to breathe and believing in what I do here in practice and what I've done in previous fights. Learn how to just take everything in on fight night and take those moments in. So hats off to Mental Solutions with Vera Jo and the way they had me thinking going into this fight, or the way she had me thinking going into this fight. Breathing techniques and a couple different things that we're working on, top secret. I'll let you reach out to her and work with her directly. I just really like where my mindset was going into this fight and fight week. Can't say enough nice things about her. And then just with Eric Archuleta and then the Performance Institute with rehab and recovery, everything just fell into place, and it felt good having a damn plan work out finally. You know, we wishful thinking and want plans to work, and sometimes, you know, you fall and break something off and you have to wait 8 months, and patience, and damn patience is with everything. But you know, things are falling in place.
Also, something that was different in lead up to this fight was working with Dr. Roman Velasquez.
Yeah.
How'd that feel now, having got in there and mixed it up after having done the neuroscience training?
We were working on that training, and some things have changed a little close to the fight. You know, got a meeting with those guys set up here in the next week or so. But you know, I wasn't seeing things coming at me just slow and easy. You know, I got caught with stuff early and got hit with some big shots early. So you know, we got to keep working that side of the cognitivity part of the brain. But you know, it wasn't like I was just seeing things zip past me and things were slowed down as a walk. It was still real fast paced in there. And the theory of all that stuff is fun, but we still have to be working.
Now, we saw after the fight, you called your shot, cards coming up here locally. That was the plan the whole time, was to call for fighting here in February?
The plan was to win, and then call for somebody. But you know, you gotta take the plan one step at a time. But hell, they're coming to Albuquerque. We've got a lot of good talent here in Albuquerque. I think if they fill that show with local fighters like we were talking about, we sell the house out. Main event isn't Albuquerque grown guys and gals at all. So UFC has their own brand, and they want to sell their own brand without having the fighters really help them sell the show out. So that might be a little difficult, knowing that, like we said earlier, UNM and UNLV is going to be playing that night at the Pit.
That's a big basketball game, and they're a devoted fan base.
Yeah, if we know anything about UNM Lobos, them boys and them gals are committed to the Lobos. So go Lobos. We'll see what happens on February 15th with the attendance.
Now, it was also pointed out last week that it was your last fight of your current UFC contract.
Yeah.
You expecting to re-sign with the promotion?
Yeah, I got a new contract today. Getting ready to sit down and look at it. Numbers seem real fitting and real right. A little bit of a pay raise going into the first fight on it. So I'm happy to say that I'm getting ready to sign a new 4-fight deal. We'll sit down and announce that here tonight and throw some pictures up tonight. But got to read all the small details first before you sign your name at the dotted line. And there's like 45 pages on that dang thing to read. So happy to still be working with the company. I've gotten to know the staff really well and real good. But it's just good to have a job, and what's going on in the world right now and everything that's going on. It's just good to have a job.
Don't know how much in detail you can get into it, but a lot of fighters, we've seen free agency play a lot. What is it about the UFC that you feel is best for your career, best for you to stay with them? What is it about that business model that works out for you?
The current contract that I have, based on what I would possibly make with other companies, more money long term. You know, so if I got another 4 fights or 6 fights in me, I can make more money in that long term than just 1 or 2 fights. You know what I mean? So the other thing that I like about the company is I've gotten to know the staff really well. Maybe not like Dana White and these guys or whatever, the head honchos, but you know, Dean and Simone and a lot of the people behind the scenes, Miss Heidi and Tracy Long and Jeff Nervitsky, these guys that are behind the scenes that really help out and go above and beyond to help you fight week. The guys at PI and Mark Wattenberg, that said his name wrong, but Mark with PI with the nutrition and Charles and all them, you know those people on a personal level. So, you know, I don't have to go and get in a new company and learn everybody's name and get to know everybody. I know everyone down to the photographer at UFC. So, I'm not starting that over. Those people are there for you fight week. They help you get through just tough weight cuts and all the above, and they help answer questions, and you can call them any time of the day and they answer your phone call or your email. So UFC's a good fit for me right now. Go from that.
Now, you've been around the game for quite a while. Sitting back a little bit during the injury, what do you see have been, whether it's to the sport or just around the business, have been the biggest innovations or newest things you feel that are going around the industry?
Same person, ready? I don't know about any of the new stuff. Probably just the Performance Institute and what they're doing with nutrition and hydration and how they're trying to keep individuals within 15% or 13% of that fight weight. You know, if you're going above that, they're red flagging you, and commissions are wanting you to move up to the next weight class, just to protect the fighter as a whole and their health and their body. I think that in itself, fighters are stubborn, and we don't want to tell ourselves no on anything or we can't do it. So I think it's good the commissions are trying to step in and help us out. In most cases, a lot of commissions don't know what the hell they're doing, you know, so they want to be in charge, but they don't know what's going on, which we had a bunch of that going on out in Washington, D.C. with my weight, and couldn't read the scale, and there's some silly things going on. But I think the Performance Institute as a whole, with hydration, nutrition, education, educating us on the supplement issues, what to watch out for, the red flags to look at that, I think all that in itself is 100% better.
We recently also, you bring it up now, thinking about it, from your situation, there were some new guidelines with the USADA release. I didn't know if you got to look into those at all.
Yeah, you know, the whole Nate Diaz thing, where they said they looked at him and could tell he was telling the truth. I immediately went and looked at myself in the mirror and was like, I guess they couldn't tell I was telling the truth, but, you know, I guess I was the front runner on that whole ordeal, you know what I mean? I got to be the first guy in that boat, I guess, if you will, so a lot of those guidelines have changed because of me, because of Yoel's case, and, you know, I got to go to my depositions with my lawsuit and now mediation, and we've gotten that all resolved. We proved who was wrong and who was right, but ultimately that's been resolved. So truth is coming out. The truth has prevailed on all that stuff, and I can look myself in the mirror and say that I'm not a steroid cheat. So here we are.
Those adjustments to the USADA guidelines, do you feel it is a win, a step in the right direction, or kind of just a little help to a bigger problem?
Man, you know, the way they put those rules in was your first error, your first test, positive test is 2-year suspension. So for me, I was looking at 2 years. So I was jumping through all the hurdles I could. I had to hire an attorney to present facts and spend all this money. And then I see people get the same amount of time that I did, and they didn't prove where it came from at all. It was a little bit of a slap in the face. I got to think of Tom Lawler, who got the same amount of OSHA in his system. He was suspended 2 years and then cut. So there's a lot of people that aren't happy with those guidelines, and I think they just need to be fair across the board. If they're going to enforce those rules to everybody across the board, and don't cut corners or try to make exceptions. To the supplement world, it really is Russian roulette and all that stuff. Even the products that we get that have the NSF stamped and all that stuff on there to be third-party tested, it's still a risk. It's still, if it's in our system, we're responsible for what we put in our body, and these supplement companies get a little slap on the wrist, shut down shop, open up in a new name. So on my experience of all of it, it was a very stressful and challenging time. I went from having a good year to not having a job at all and trying to learn a new profession. So like anything, we learn and move forward. So I've got to meet a lot of cool people in the process, a lot of educated individuals and doctors and scientists to go with all this stuff. So I've got a damn degree in that now, so I guess I could be thankful for that.
From that situation with USADA to the ankle injury, how good does it feel to be sitting here Monday after a victorious return to the cage?
Man, I'm super happy about the win. Super happy about the win with the supplement deal. I just hope that there's only a little bit of adversity for 2020. I think that we've had a whole bunch of adversity. So if God can throw it out there and just cut like jelly bean sizes for 2020, I think we'll be good. and if not, we have to deal with the shit and move forward. But yeah, man, I'm excited. The 2019 started out super difficult, and it's ending very good. So I'm hoping to keep that momentum into 2020.
Great catching up with you, Tim.
Thank you, Micah.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or DreamstyleRemodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of ProView Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but 2 great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Locally loved restaurants like Farina Pizzeria, Farina Alto, and the Artichoke Cafe are the perfect venue for your next event. Farina Alto has traditional Italian food, plus handcrafted cocktails in a beautiful Northeast Heights location. Farina Pizzeria with a downtown vibe, amazing affordable wines, and local beer. And the Artichoke Cafe has set the standard for casual fine dining since 1989. Visit our family of restaurants and see what fine dining is all about.
Perez Collision Center is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks and Albuquerque Boxing. Perez Collision Center offers expert knowledge on any of your auto body and paint needs. Give them a call today, 505-254-4655, or stop by for a visit at 2415 2nd Street Northwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Perez Collision Center.
Local Union 412. Find a career with benefits and not just a job at UA Local 412 Training Center. We are looking for plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC tech apprentices and journeymen. Call 505-256-9257. Local Union 412.
Welcome back, everybody. We've talked a lot about MMA. We're going to switch focuses to the sweet science. Coming up to close out the local New Mexico combat sports year, we have combative wars. So you'll still have some MMA, but we're going to focus on the boxing aspect of that dual combat sports event taking place in Hobbs, New Mexico on December 29th, presented by School of Hard Knocks Promotions and Isidro Castillo. Feature of the boxing portion of the card will be an ABF title bout. We've been seeing a lot of those right here on ProView Networks thanks to Legacy Boxing Promotions. This one is going to see Des Hill defending his title against my guest at this time, Lorenzo Benavidez. You guys know him well, representing the Power and Glory Gym. Sir, thanks for being here. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
Man, title fight. What's this mean to you? What was your honest reaction when your coach, your manager, Steve Garcia, is like, ABF title fight?
I said, let's do it. You know, he told me right away. He was like, oh, the guy's 5-0, big puncher, this and that. I was like, I don't care. Let's do it. You know, I'm ready. I train. You know, these are the moments we wait for as a fighter. You know, little opportunities that will open bigger doors.
What does it feel like to you being in this moment, getting this opportunity, being at this point in your career?
It feels great, you know, especially coming from where I came from, where I was at 250 pounds, doing really nothing. I took a lot of time out of boxing, almost 2 years away from the gym. And, you know, I got really heavy. So just to be coming back and fighting at 168 for a title, it's great. I'm excited.
What did it take to change your health, to drop all that weight?
It was just like a mental thing, you know, like I was just doing my thing out of the gym, and one day I decided, hey, maybe I'll step on the scale, see what's happening. And I seen that number, 250, I was like, I need to get back.
Talk to me about the discipline, the determination, the work ethic, what it's taken to get to this shape.
Honestly, it was just once I stepped back into the ring for the first time, it was like my first time ever stepping in the ring. You know, that love just came back, and once I started loving the sport again, it was easy to discipline myself and get down and do what I had to do.
You had a very long amateur career, a lot of time there. How has this journey as a professional been different from that experience as an amateur?
I guess it's a little different in the ways we, like amateurs, we train and we could fight every weekend, and you know, we're just doing different things. As a pro, kind of learning to focus a little more on the fight, you know, studying your opponents a little better. You know who you're fighting, so you know what to prepare for. A lot of different things.
Shout out to Dennis Leyva. Sounds like you need some water.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I'll mention it while Lorenzo takes a drink. His last fight, we saw it at the Marriott Pyramid. It was a great battle. I mean, went all the way to the draw against a guy that you know well, Bryant McLean. How do you look back on that fight against a friend? I know I talked to you guys right afterwards, but now you digested, thought back to it. How did you feel about that fight?
Ultimately, I would have liked to come away with the win. It's just the competitive spirit in me. I look back on it. There's a lot of things I could learn from, you know, different things I did. I kind of let off the gas a little early. That's, I feel like, what cost the draw. I feel like I had the first 2 rounds pretty good and then stepped back a little bit. And once I stepped back, he seen it and he started pushing the gas. So this time I'm going to try to, you know, keep my foot on the gas the whole time.
I will stand by it and stay steadfast. At this point in your career, I already believe you need to be teaching everybody how to get on the inside. Talking about that, how have you mastered the head movement, the footwork, taking that disadvantage that people would see of the 5'2" frame? And I've seen you get inside on these mammoth dudes that, logically speaking, say they should be able to jab, stay on the outside, outmove, but you are able to close the distance, make the ring smaller, and get on the inside like you want. How do you do it?
It's just something we've been working since the amateurs, since I first stepped in the boxing ring at 12 years old. You know, my coaches, any coach I've been with, they seen that. They're like, look, you're small, you're short, you're going to have to move. You're going to have to get close. You're going to have to be able to move your head and create different angles to get inside and get in your comfort zone.
And how long did it take you to embrace that style of fighting?
Probably till I turned open class and started fighting the bigger boys that, you know, grown men that can actually punch a little harder than a 15, 16-year-old kid. That's when I kind of realized, hey, maybe I should move my head a little bit. This hurts.
And like we said, we've mentioned you had quite the amateur run, quite a lengthy amateur run. Now as a professional, how valuable do you look back at that time at those fights?
Oh, it's great experience. Amateurs is great experience. Anyone looking to turn pro in boxing, I would suggest get some amateur fights under your belt, because the amateurs is really where you learn. You face a lot of different styles, a lot of different, you know, what's the word?
Get a lot of different looks.
Yeah, you get a lot of different looks in
You see
the
diversity?
amateurs. Yeah, it's very diverse. And I feel like that transfers over to the professional ring.
Now, as a professional, now on the contrary, as an amateur, you're fighting a lot of other boxers. Now, as a professional, though, I feel like you've seen quite a bit of looks from MMA fighters. Dez, even coming in with a 5-0 boxing record, much more established in the MMA game. So much different is it fighting that non-classical, non-technical boxer, more of a brawler?
It's a little different. I feel like coming up in the amateur scene, you get a lot of those fighters who are going to just come and try to bang. And I've faced my fair share of guys that are going to, you know, open up kind of wild, especially in the amateurs. But it's always different. I feel like every opponent is different. No two people fight the exact same. I always try to look at things that from sparring, past fights, things that worked against certain styles, certain different moves, different looks. Everyone is different, but a lot of fighters have similarities, and that's where the amateur experience comes in again, is like you learn to be more observant, you learn to see things.
Now, we've talked a lot about the health changes that have happened from the amateurs to the professionals, but how do you feel that your game has changed, improved, differed now that you're a professional?
We're definitely working on sitting down a lot more. I feel like as an amateur, we were working, throw a lot of punches, get out of there, throw a lot of punches, get out of there. Now we're working more, sit down on it. You want to hurt this guy. He's trying to hurt you, you hurt him first.
His first title fight, it goes down December 29th. We're going to have more with Lorenzo Benavidez in just a moment.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Welcome back, everybody. Time to talk about some more boxing, some more face punching. Gotta ask, Lorenzo, what do you think, looking at Dez's style, looking at this fight, the title fight coming up, what's going to make the difference? What do you got to do to come home with that belt?
I think my youth, my experience in boxing, and my speed is going to overwhelm him, my pressure. You know, he's had 5 fights. I've had 5 fights professionally. But when you look into the amateurs, go into the background, he's done more MMA. I've stuck with boxing since I was 12 years old, you know, something I've been working on. So I feel like my boxing experience, my ring experience.
Let us know about confidence, not just your confidence, like generally, but the self-confidence that boxing has given you and the confidence that you've gained through these last couple pro fights. Talk to us about it.
Oh, yeah, my confidence is skyrocketing. My self-confidence, especially from losing so much weight, getting these wins under my belt. And, you know, the last time out it was a draw. That kind of sparked another little fire, another little confidence booster. You know, I didn't want the draw. I wanted to win, obviously. But that's kind of motivates me that, hey, you didn't do enough this time. You need to kick it into the next gear. And so just my training, my work ethic, that all contributes to my confidence.
Having stood in there with heavyweights, does that also give you confidence in the pocket?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've fought 275-pound guys that throwing bombs at me, you know, so it definitely helps with that.
Do you look back at some of those fights and think that was ridiculous, some of the guys, the size disparities you were dealing with?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I look at some of these pictures from my past amateur fights, and I'm like, why was I fighting this guy? Like, why didn't you lose weight then?
What has that done to inspire you? Showing yourself that you could do this, how does that raise the bar for your goals, that you've already, you know, accomplished this giant weight loss?
Oh, yeah, just seeing that I can do it, you know, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. You know, I want to keep going down in weight, see how much lower I could get, you know, maybe get down into the welterweight levels and make some noise in the smaller weight classes.
Man, if we can get you to the day where you find somebody your size, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, talking about that, showing people how to get on the inside thing, somebody that could learn a little bit from that, who I thought understood it, was Andy Ruiz. This past weekend, we saw the rematch, Joshua Ruiz 2, kind of underwhelming. As a boxing fan, a much more inclined aficionado than myself, what do you take away from that rematch?
Joshua did what he had to do. At the end of the day, boxing, we're coming to win. And it's not always how you get the job done, it's if you get the job done. And he got it done. It wasn't the prettiest fight, wasn't the most exciting fight to watch. But at the end of the day, I can't really hate on him too much for fighting that style.
You can't hate on him, but in a game where we play eyes that want to see you, do you think this helps the all-encouraging word of marketability for him? Do you think anybody wants to see him fight the winner of February 22nd?
I don't think so. Maybe the fans in England. he still has his big fan base out there. They were really happy with that win, guaranteed. But I feel like moving forward, I feel like he does get beat by Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Did you were not inspired by what he did? He did what he had to do, but the rankings that came out recently that put him #1, you wouldn't agree?
I would definitely not agree with that.
And then this weekend, we got a couple things coming up. If you guys haven't been checking it out, on ESPN Plus, actually, from England, they've been doing the Golden Contract tournaments. You got light heavyweights. You got 8 dudes battling. Somebody's going to get a big payday. Have you checked this out yet, Lorenzo? They're doing it in multiple weight classes.
I haven't seen too much of this.
Well, it's a new innovation. This is why you got to be checking out ESPN Plus, as they're bringing a ton of boxing. Not to mention, we also got some title fights coming up this weekend, including Terrence Crawford, the unbeaten 35-0, defending his WBO welterweight title against, yes, Mean Machine, because we cannot say his actual name. 21-1. It's going to be a 12-rounder. Richard Cormier and Timo Lopez for Cormier's IBF lightweight title bout is in the co-main event. Is this what you're going to be watching this weekend, Lorenzo?
I think I'm definitely going to be checking that out. I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan. I feel like the co-main event is going to be a little more action-packed than the main event.
Who do you got there, Lopez or Cormier?
I'm taking Kami.
Why?
I've seen him fight a couple of times. I've seen Teofimo fight a couple of times. I just think stylistically it's a better matchup for Kami. Kami's a guy who could take a hit, and Teo, he can punch, but we haven't really seen him fight a guy like Kami who's going to come forward, and Kami could hit too. You know, he could punch too.
Decision?
I think it could be a decision, maybe even a late stoppage. He's a good pressure fighter, Richard Kami.
And then, for the people that don't know, Terrence Crawford, how good is he?
Terrence Crawford's a beast, man. I feel like the only person in the welterweight division that gives him a fight is Earl Spence. I don't know about after that accident now, when he's going to come back in this, but I feel like
So it could be seeing the best welterweight in the world on display this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. And then telling you guys locally coming up, January 11th will be the next, after Lorenzo's fight, the next local event where you have Southwest MMA Series 30 coming up. That's going to be a great card. CageMinds.com for the full details on that one. A 3-fight main card, couple women's bouts on that one. Buffalo Thunder, Southwest MMA Series on Facebook for more up-to-date details or where you can get the tickets. Now, also coming up, a big one 6 days later, right here at the Route 66 Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Steve Mean Machine Garcia and Jose Mariscal headline LFA 80. You can see that one on UFC Fight Pass if you can't make it out live. Damasio Page returns. He's going to be in the co-main event. They call him the future at Jackson Winks. Chris Brown, he's going to be on the card. Unbeaten Jordan Wright. Not to mention Gavino from Fit NHB and Jerome Rivera from Santa Fe, also on tap to be part of it from the local scene. So that's what we got coming up locally. We've got, like I said, that big UFC event coming up. You got Terrence Crawford. Gotta ask, because we saw the rankings change. Who's your top 3 heavyweights? How do you have them in order?
In order, I would say Deontay, Tyson, and AJ still has the belts. I feel like he should still be in the top 3 at least.
I got to agree with Lorenzo there, but then let's ask him the hard one. Overall, pound for pound, you're in the game. Who are your top 3?
Man, pound for pound. I'm going to have to take Vasily Lomachenko, number 1. That guy's just the Matrix. That guy's unreal. I would say Terrence Crawford, close number 2. And I would put Errol Spence. Again, we don't know when he's going to return, but the way he looked in his last fight against Sean Porter, that completely sold me on him. I think he beat Porter in Porter's type of fight.
A lot of boxing guys have been back and forth about this one. I believe we're going to see it happen here locally. What's your take on bare knuckle boxing quickly for us?
Those guys are wild. I think it's awesome to watch. It's crazy to watch. You know, one of my big sparring partners is Isaac Valley Flag, and those guys are wild.
And Isaac says that bare knuckle boxing is going to be coming to this state in 2020. A lot of combat sports stuff going on in this state, a lot going on at CageMinds.com. Thanks for checking out Cage Minds TV this week, and have a good day.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? 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 Dang, this one made me feel all special.